Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
11Alive News at noon starts now. It is the first day of school for the state's largest district, and it's off to a bumpy start. Gwinnett County, which serves more than 180,000 students, is beginning the fall semester fully digital, but many parents reaching out to us about problems getting their students online. Mara Seriani is tracking the developments.
For many GCPS students, the first day of school is plagued with technological issues. One parent I spoke to called it unacceptable and said the district had all summer to prepare.
and I don't think they were prepared for the influx of what's going on.
According to the district's website, projected enrollment is roughly 180,000. Gwinnett County Public Schools releasing a statement this morning saying, in part, GCPS has 90,000 users online. We know some users have reported difficulties logging into the portal and some applications. Technology staff are working to resolve these issues. Leona Davis has 2 children in GCPS, a 6th and a 9th grader. Davis says when they tried to log in this morning, applications like Google Classroom and Zoom wouldn't launch. Davis said she received a text and a phone call from the district asking parents to refresh the page and keep trying.
My youngest one, she had to be on her first period class at 9 o'clock. Once she was able to get into the class, she clicked on it, but the Zoom just was not working. 80 to 90% of assignments are on those applications that are not working.
Davis says her 9th grader was able to start some algebra work, but her 6th grader wasn't able to access anything. Now, as district officials work to resolve these issues, of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the day on air and on 11alive.com.
North Paulding High School still only doing virtual learning today. Paulding County School Superintendent is planning to give an update sometime today on when the school will reopen after 9 students and staff members tested positive for COVID-19. Parents and students speaking out in favor of in-person learning at a meeting last night. Beginning Friday, the school board will post positive cases on its website. And Etowah High School in Cherokee County is closed until the end of the month. Less than 2 weeks into the new school year, we're told nearly 300 students and staff have been forced into quarantine due to COVID exposure. There are 14 confirmed cases at the school. Remote learning begins tomorrow. The superintendent says it hopes to reopen Etowah High on August 31st. Now to the growing number of COVID-19 cases. Just 4% of the world's population lives in the U.S., but we now account for a quarter of all coronavirus infections, and that includes Georgia. That number, the state's public health department reporting more than 3,500 new infections yesterday. That's in line with what we've been seeing for the past 2 weeks. What has changed is the number of people dying. Georgia set a new record with nearly 125 new deaths connected to the virus yesterday. The only time we've had a death toll over 100 in a single day was back in early April. The North Georgia State Fair is not happening this year because of COVID. Organizers making the announcement on their Facebook page. Jim Miller Park in Marietta, where it's usually held, remains a COVID-19 testing site. The fair is now scheduled to begin in September of 2021, and organizers are working on a Taste of the Fair drive-through food experience so you can still have your favorites.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chesley McNeil. Listen to my best friend here. Yeah, if you're going to go out this afternoon, carry the umbrella with you. You may not need it right now as things are still dry. We do have clouds overhead, but no rain coming out of those clouds. Maybe a few sprinkles down in Coweta County. That's it. That's it. A sprinkle over here toward Polk County. That's it. We're expecting more to pop up a little bit later on this afternoon. In fact, a few thunderstorms could be on the strong to severe side, a few isolated strong to severe side. It's hot. Temperatures are in the upper 80s as we speak, just about everywhere you look. 88 is a very popular number this afternoon. We have it in LaGrange, Peachtree City, Atlanta, over toward Eatonton, Thomaston as well. 89 in Duluth, 83 up in Blairsville. The cool spot would be Clayton at 80 for this afternoon. So temperature-wise, again, we'll get up to 93 degrees for a high temperature. When you factor in that humidity, it's going to feel much warmer than that, maybe closer to 100. A couple of thunderstorms will be around after about 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll drop down to 80 by 7 o'clock. This will continue over the next couple of days. We'll talk about that in the full forecast coming up. Plus, a check on the tropics. Got another tropical depression out there to talk about, which could be Josephine later this afternoon. We'll talk about it in the full forecast coming up. Sheba, back to you.
And much easier to pronounce. Chesley, thank you. An SUV crashed into the ER at Piedmont's main hospital in Atlanta, killing 1 person, injuring 4 others. That happened back in June, that crash, but only this week are we seeing new video of the crash and hearing from a survivor. She told our Joe Henke she wants to know why charges were never filed against the driver.
29-year-old Kai Bailey tells me back on June 30th, she came here to Piedmont Hospital to support a sick friend. Bailey's attorney says so far Atlanta police have not answered any of their questions about what exactly caused the crash at the ER. They also believe metal posts like these found around parts of the hospital could have prevented any injuries. Video 11Alive received today shows the June 30th crash. Atlanta police previously told 11Alive a 75-year-old drove her SUV to Piedmont for an appointment. Video shows the 75-year-old hit a vehicle, then accelerate, crashing through the ER doors and into the building, killing one person and injuring 4 more. One of the injured, 29-year-old Kai Bailey, is seen here under the door. Bailey talked with us alongside her attorney who provided the video.
How do you drive through a hospital, critically injure me, kill one person?
Bailey says she broke both of her hips and pelvis. After a month in the hospital, she is in severe pain and still going through rehab.
I'm currently walking on crutches, so I am back on my foot, just the left side. I experienced excruciating burning pain in my right foot.
Here is what police said about the crash back on June 30th.
It does not appear to be a deliberate act. So once we find out more and the investigation continues, we can let you know more about what happened.
The police report lists the cause of the crash as driver lost control. It indicates drug and alcohol tests came back negative. No charges will be filed, and the investigation was concluded.
There's not even any explanation in the report as to how or why she lost control of the car.
An APD spokesman by email today wrote, the Accident Investigation Unit has not completed the full investigation of this crash, but at this time, no charges are anticipated. Bailey's attorney also taking issue with Piedmont, believing a barrier could have prevented injuries.
If you look at the video, Piedmont does not have any of these security balusters.
A Piedmont spokesman tells 11Alive they do not comment on pending investigations. And Bailey's attorney tells me right now they are carrying out their own investigation into the crash. Depending on the findings, a lawsuit could be filed against the driver, Piedmont Hospital, or both.
She defeated her former boss, a 6-term incumbent, to become the sole nominee for Fulton County District Attorney. Up next, we're speaking live with Fani Willis about her vision for the future.
From 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks.
A big election night last night, the primary runoff here in Georgia. And here's one of the races we've been following, a close one for Fulton County Sheriff. Former Atlanta Corrections Chief Pat Labat beating out incumbent Sheriff Ted Jackson with 59% of the vote. All right, now to that heated battle for Fulton County District Attorney. Fani Willis is now the county's newly elected DA after defeating her former boss, six-term incumbent Paul Howard, in the runoff election, becoming the first female DA for that county. Fani Willis joining us live now. Good afternoon to you, Fani. Thank you so much for joining us, and a big congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Today is an amazing day.
I see all the balloons behind you. I'm not sure if that's a virtual background or if that's the real thing.
That's a real background. My team did amazing last night. We have real balloons.
That's amazing. So, Fani, you said in your acceptance speech last night that you're hoping to be an example for young women. I know you're a single mom of two daughters. What are they saying to you about your win?
Oh, I think that it's still somewhat surreal for us, but they have been very, very proud. They've been very defensive of their mom. We've had some really, really vicious attacks on social media of things that are not true, and that has impacted, you know, my children. But they know that we are standing in the gap of right, and they know that I am here to do the right thing, and I think they're very proud of me.
As of 11 p.m. last night, Paul Howard had not reached out to you yet. Has there been any new developments on that front?
No, ma'am. I have not heard from Mr. Howard.
All right. Now, you've said that you want to attract the best and brightest minds to your office once you become DA. What does that mean for the current employees working under Paul Howard?
Certainly some of the best and the brightest minds are right there in that office, and so we will retain those. But obviously, I'm going to bring on my own executive staff, and so that is the people that I will trust, that I know that have done great work in our community. Many of the staff will need to be retooled and retrained. No one who is in a current position may be in that exact position once they are under my administration. I'm going to have individual conversations with each of them, see where their passion is, because where your passion is where you can best serve, and try to place them in something that builds the skills they have and fosters it. I hope to keep many of them. Those that do not want to work under my administration, I'm sure many of them will resign between now and the end of the year.
All right, Fani, your former boss, the incumbent Fulton County DA Paul Howard, has been accused of making two recent police use of force cases political, and I know you've accused him of this as well, failing to fully investigate them before charging the officers. So, of course, we're talking about the cases involving Rayshard Brooks and the tasing of those two college students during the protest downtown. Do you have any plans to drop the charges against any of the officers involved, or perhaps move these cases or recommend another jurisdiction take them over?
Well, let's be very clear. I don't think we can any more talk about whether he made them political. He literally put images of the Brooks case in his television commercials, and he put that case in his radio ads. It was clearly for his political benefit. I do not have a plan to keep or drop the charges. What I plan to do is look at all of the evidence, look at the facts, and then make charging decisions. But I will do that based on the investigations conducted by the staff there at the district attorney's office now, and based on the reports of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Quite frankly, I do not know if we are legally going to be able to keep the Brooks case in Fulton County due to the fact that the district attorney chose to have this show, this Ringling Brothers show that he called a press conference where he went through facts and alleged evidence in the case. And then you combine that with running television ads and commercials on the radio. Some may say that that particular defendant, that particular charged person, cannot get a fair trial in this jurisdiction. As a result of that, us, the taxpayers of Fulton, will pay for that prosecution, but it will be the morals and the values of some other office in some other county that will actually get to try that. And it is just a shame that we had a DA that would put his own needs before justice for the family of the Brooks and the community at large.
It does not sound like there's going to be a transition phase between you and Paul Howard here.
I welcome a transition phase. You know, we like to know where the files are. We certainly hope that nothing will go missing between now and when I take office. And I would welcome a conversation with him about the office. But we're going in a new direction. I mean, I want everyone to be very clear. I offer the citizens of this community a change. and a change is what I plan to bring. And I'm going to bring that by having the best and the brightest minds from around this country. Former DAs, I've had lawyers at top firms say that under me, they would come and work because they know that they will be doing work of integrity and not just trying to rack up convictions. We are going to bring in that type of staff with those type of character and integrity issues, and we're going to do God's work. And so I would love to have a conversation. Certainly, he's been there for 24 years. There is some institutional wisdom that I would like to have the benefit of having. But however it goes, we're going to do a great job for the people, and we're going to make sure that the people of this county are served.
All right, Fani Willis, who was in that office for 16 years as an assistant prosecutor, we appreciate your time. Again, the newly elected district attorney for Fulton County. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, let's get to more results now from the primary runoff. Businesswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene defeating Dr. John Cowan in the Republican primary runoff for Georgia's 14th congressional district. Greene has expressed support for the far-right conspiracy theory QAnon and has been criticized for a series of racist comments. She's projected to be a big favorite to win in November to replace Republican Congressman Tom Graves, who is retiring. Now an in-depth look at the historic selection of California Senator Kamala Harris as Joe Biden's running mate. The news still dominating social media at this hour. She is the first woman of color ever on a major party ticket, but that only tells part of her story. NBC's Kristen Welker takes a closer look.
As Joe Biden's newly minted running mate, Senator Kamala Harris has already made history, becoming the first black woman to appear on a major party presidential ticket. The 55-year-old California native is the daughter of immigrants, a Jamaican father and an Indian mother, both academics who met at Berkeley during the civil rights movement.
With the fighting spirit I got from my mother.
While her parents divorced when she was 7, Harris has described her mother, who died in 2009, as the most important influence in her life, often quoting her on the campaign trail.
My mother used to say, "Don't sit around and complain about things, do something."
In her autobiography, Harris writes that her mother encouraged her and her younger sister Maya to embrace their biracial heritage, adding she was determined to make sure we would grow into confident, proud black women. Maya Harris paying tribute to her sister, tweeting Tuesday, "That day when a little girl from Oaktown became the first black woman to be a major party vice presidential nominee. So incredibly proud of you, sis." Harris had a rapid ascent in California's legal circles, rising from county prosecutor to San Francisco district attorney to California attorney general, cultivating a moderate political reputation and inviting criticism from some liberals that she was insufficiently progressive on criminal justice issues. Harris has been one of President Trump's fiercest critics in the Senate, including when she memorably grilled his then Supreme Court nominee and eventual Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
Did you watch Dr. Ford's testimony?
I did not. I planned to. I planned to, but I did not. I was preparing mine.
It was just a horrible thing, the way she treated now Justice Kavanaugh, and I won't forget that soon.
Harris, now just the third woman in U.S. history to serve as a vice presidential candidate on a major party ticket, is getting some advice from one of her predecessors, the late John McCain's former running mate, Sarah Palin, who urged her to, out of the chute, trust no one new. Fight mightily to keep your own team with you. Don't get muzzled, and don't forget the women who came before you. Harris, addressing students at the historically black Spelman College in 2018, says she knows what she's fighting for.
Breaking a barrier may sometimes be painful, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it. And I'll tell you, the reason is because you will be fighting a fight worth having.
Medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chesley McNeil. Look at this beautiful shot right here. Yeah, you can barely see a cloud in the sky. This is up in the North Georgia mountains, obviously in the Blue Ridge area, and things look to be A-okay. People walking around and hopefully practicing social distancing, right? It is on the warm side, though. Temperatures are up there in the upper 80s in a lot of spots. We will see those 90s as we head into the afternoon. In fact, even if we, in some spots, don't hit 90, you will feel like it because of the humidity out there. Watching a few showers begin to develop. You can see over toward Polk County right now, very isolated showers starting to develop, even some a little bit further down to the south as well. We'll see more of this pop up as we head through the afternoon, thanks in part to the daytime heating, right? Look at this, 88 degrees right now in Atlanta, Peachtree City the same, LaGrange the same, 90 in Thomaston and over toward Edenton, 89 degrees in Duluth, 87 in Gainesville, 84 up toward Blairsville at the current tower. It's 80 in Clayton. That is the cool spot, at least for this afternoon. You got 6 out of a possible 11 on the whizometer. We haven't seen an 11 in a while, and probably won't in a while either. You got a 40% chance for a few isolated showers this afternoon. A couple of thunderstorms will be around as well. 93 degrees, your forecast high temperature for today. Not a whole lot going on. We do have some showers, steady showers, back over toward parts of Arkansas and into Louisiana. Had some thunderstorms earlier in Mississippi that faded away as they began to push to the east. Our showers will be more of the garden variety, meaning they will start to develop. They'll pop up and then they'll dissipate. And we'll see more of that as we head through the afternoon. So we'll keep an eye out for it. If you have plans to go out, of course, grab your umbrella. You're going to need that at least. Taking a look at the tropics now, we are watching for development here of a tropical depression. This is tropical depression number 11. Now packing winds up to 35 miles per hour. It is moving to the west at about 14 miles per hour. Notice the latest track from the Hurricane Center. Keeps it as a tropical storm as it moves to the north of the Leeward Islands and then toward the Bahamas, even north of the Bahama Islands, if this particular track holds together. Now, it doesn't strengthen any. Again, holds as a tropical storm as it makes its way toward the United States. But will it even make it to the United States? That's going to be the question for the next couple of days. Could begin to bend back over the ocean, could dissipate as it will encounter some drier air and also some shear. So we'll watch that over the next couple of days. But if it happens to become a named storm, it will be called Josephine. A little bit more simpler than Isis, right? And so we'll take that. All right, here's our forecast track model for the rest of the afternoon. You'll notice those showers starting to develop on us. Where we have some of those embedded thunderstorms, could be some brief heavy downpours on you. Also, a couple gusty winds associated with that frequent lightning. We'll lose that threat once we lose the daytime heating. Start it all over again as we head into Thursday. A little bit better coverage Thursday afternoon. We'll give it a 50 to 60% chance Thursday afternoon. And then by Friday, it goes up even more. In fact, I think the rain holds on through the overnight going into Friday morning. We'll see a few showers left over, and then during the afternoon, a 70% chance for that rain. It goes down a little bit as we head into the weekend, 50% chance on Saturday, Sunday down to a 20% chance. So Sunday will be the better of the 2 weekend days, but those 90s will return. We'll briefly go down to 88 for a high on Friday, and then the 90s return as we go into the weekend and into next week. Sheba, back over to you.
All right, Chesley, 2 of the country's Power 5 conferences becoming the first to postpone college football. What the Big Ten and Pac-12's decision could mean for the SEC.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands.
It is the news many college football fans have been dreading. No games in the fall. We've just learned Kennesaw State is postponing their football season until next spring, joining Morehouse College in canceling due to COVID concerns. It's also a reality in 2 of the 5 biggest conferences which have decided to postpone fall sports. Maria Martin has more.
It has been an exhausting 48 hours for everyone involved in college football. As of this afternoon, there will be no fall sports for both the Big Ten and the Pac-12, making them the first Power 5 conferences to make the decision.
When you look at this decision, we just believe collectively there's too much uncertainty at this point in time in our country.
Now, certainly the players have been advocating to play this fall, including 2 prominent Georgia native quarterbacks, Justin Fields, who just had his fall season canceled, and Trevor Lawrence.
We were like, man, we got to do something quick, and we got to do something that'll make people read it and, make people listen.
The We Want to Play movement gained national attention from the President of the United States, coaches, and players around the country.
Like, this is easy for me. This is easy sacrifice. I can wear a mask. I don't have to go out and see nobody.
And for those players, they're hoping that it works for some of the conferences.
I think with communication and a chain of command, we really can provide a safe way to play.
As for the SEC, ACC, and Big 12, they're standing firm that there are no changes to their conferences at this point.
I keep in mind that we haven't made final decisions. There's still some time, but we have set a start date. I'd be encouraged by that if I were college football.
Time is running out for the rest of the Power 5 on a decision about college football this fall. As for them, they're sitting on 4th down looking for a Hail Mary.
Got to make sure everyone stays safe. Thank you so much for watching 11Alive News at noon. Have a great one.
And every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both.
Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more